Andre, I'm going to call this review Stubby Senior. You know why?
I don't like that name, but why?
Because it's a two-door work truck. This is the new 2024 Chevy Silverado, but it's got something special under the hood. And in this video, we're going to give you a complete walk around. Well, all right, maybe a strut around, Andre. And of course, we're going to drive it.
It's a first drive, dude. But you guys have been asking for this. This is a new heavy-duty 2024 truck with a gas V8 and a 10-speed Allison branded transmission. So brand new transmission that's supposed to wake this truck up, and we'll see exactly how it drives right now.
All right, well, not right now because we got to do the walk around, but that's okay, Andre. I noticed that it does have this interesting hood scoop that on many Silverados is functional, but on this one it isn't.
Well, let's open the hood.
Yeah, show them what's under the
show
hood.
that.
Because obviously, oftentimes heavy-duty trucks come with a diesel, but this one, well, let me show you.
Yeah, so this is also one of the more affordable heavy-duty trucks that Chevrolet sells.
Yeah, Stubby Senior. That is not a diesel, Andre.
No, look at how much space there is. So if you open this hood, if this was a Duramax, the engine would be all the way up here with giant, stacks of radiators and everything else. Look at the amount of space here. The 6.6 liter V8 is kind of tucked in underneath, which I think is pretty cool, which makes the truck almost mid-engine, right, Roman?
Yeah, and I noticed we're missing our second battery.
Yeah.
That would be maybe the battery that if you had the Duramax would be right there. And then there's the original battery, actually the one that powers this truck, right over there.
The 12 volt is on the passenger side. And like you said, Roman, look up. So there's no functional hood scoop on this one.
So what's the horsepower and torque, Andre?
Yeah, so this is an engine they introduced several years ago. This is their new kind of a larger displacement V8, 401 horsepower and 464 pound-feet of torque. And this engine now has to fight against the Godzilla, right? Because Ford introduced their 7.3 liter V8, and now for 2023 and beyond, Ford also has their 6.8 liter gas V8. So this engine has a lot of competition.
Yeah, and what do you think of the styling, Andre? Do you like it? I mean, we've got the Z71 package on this, and when we get in the truck, we'll show you how much this costs and how much it has in options. But I like it. I think it's, it's very bold.
Yeah, so it's a little bit dressed up, right? By the way, I have to thank our friend Matt and Johnson Auto Plaza, because this video would not be possible without them. They allowed me to borrow this truck for a little while. And it's a 2024, so there's a little swoosh. So this is a new design element, kind of this grille coming down here. But I think chrome makes it a little bit more fancy.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of chrome. I'm also getting a little tired of like all these headlights and fog lights. You got 1, 2 lights, 3, 4 lights, 5 lights just on one side. That is a lot of lights, Andre.
It's got big tow hooks though.
It does have big tow hooks.
But something else that's odd. Look, can we take a look at the profile?
Yeah, let me give you
It's got big wheel arches, right? But the tires are kind of small, or they appear small.
What size are those?
So let's look. These are Firestones, Transforce AT, and this is a 265/70 R17. So it's a 17-inch wheel, of course, 8 lugs, heavy duty, 265/70 17. So I think this is like a 31-inch, maybe a 32-inch tire.
It's begging for bigger wheels and tires, at least here in Colorado. We just did a video about Ford now providing a supercharger for their F-150, and we said, why would you include a lowering kit? And everybody in the comments was like, why wouldn't you? Not everybody lifts their truck, and so that's a good point. Maybe this truck could be lowered.
Well, there's a lot of, over the last 10 years, there's a lot of push for off-road trucks, right? But maybe people are coming around for lowered ones.
Or not just that, I mean, as a work truck, you really need bigger wheels and tires. The second you upsize it, it's going to cost you more money, and it's going to make for worse fuel economy.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if this was my work truck, I would want it to look macho and big, and bigger tires, of course, do that. This is a manual mirror.
Yep.
So you could fold it manually, you could retract it manually. So it's not as fancy as some other trucks we reviewed. Once again, more basic.
I love the step. I think that's a really good, look at that. Both of us could put our shoes there. That's
so
really good. 8-foot bed.
Yep, 8-foot bed. So this is ginormous. And we'll talk about payload and towing because that's very important in just when we walk around. But this is still a 2500, so this is not a 1 ton. Technically, it's not a 3500. They also make one. And now Ford is doing this too. You know, they introduced the mid step and the bumper step in their latest Super Duty. So
look at the size. I'm zooming in under here, Andre. You can see it. Look at the size of that rear drive shaft. I mean, look at that. That's like
bam.
That's like, you know, a big cannon.
Yeah, and you see the red shocks. That's
Yeah.
the Z71. Those
Yeah.
are Ranchos.
Yeah, that's not filling me with glee.
Do you have the key, by the way? Do you have the key? Because I want to.
I do have a key.
I want to
Here you
show
go.
that.
Yeah, go for it.
Because even though this is a little bit more basic, look, there is a remote start, and look,
Wow.
you can actually lower your tailgate.
So we've got
It's
hookups here for
our trailer. So
our trailer. Yeah, we had a trailer, which we don't.
well, we have, because this has, as you can see, this has the gooseneck and fifth wheel package, which is actually about $1,100 almost, right? But I think it's critical. If you're buying a heavy duty truck like this, I think you want this gooseneck and fifth wheel prep package, especially with wiring. And also, look, it has 400 watts outlet here as well, and lights, and it's bed lined.
And, you know, Jim does a really good job with these tie down points. So you've got 12 altogether, which is a lot in a bed.
And I can also strut around here. I mean, this is a big bed.
It's a big bed, Andre.
So
It certainly is a big bed. Let me close it up.
is that pretty easy?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. And speaking of towing, let's look at the door jamb and see how
Yeah,
much
big, huge hitch.
payload and how much towing capacity this has. Now, GM does something funny here, right?
Yeah, so the payload is true to this truck, 3,359 pounds. So if this was a work base version, WT, this would be closer to 3,500 pounds. That's still a lot.
That's a lot.
You could put Tommy's Mini in the bed and still carry it around and still drive it around, right?
How much can it tow?
It will tow, this is the interesting part. Conventional trailer 14,500, but the sticker, this part is the VIN specific, but this lower part is not VIN specific.
Yeah, so GM has started doing this thing where basically instead of making it specific to the truck that you bought, they're making it specific to the category of truck that
Or
you
the
bought.
cab size, right,
Yeah.
and the bed size.
Yeah.
So that 14.5 may be a little bit lower depending on your configuration. But look at this. It's probably built in Flint, Michigan.
There you go.
That's really, really good stuff.
All right, well, shall we take it for a ride?
Yeah, well, let's climb in.
Okay.
Because I also want to show, actually, hold on, Roman, come over here just for a minute.
You got it.
This LT truck has all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive auto, four-wheel drive high and low, drive modes and tow mode. So it's got all of that stuff.
A new updated interior, I see,
Yeah, yeah.
which looks really nice. And GM has done a much better job of making their cabs, competitive with what now Ford and Ram are doing.
Sweet, but it's all about driving, right? So let's jump in and start this engine.
I don't know. For me, it's all about the fist into the wind styling, Andre. You see that in your rearview mirror. You may move over if you're on the highway. It's pretty bold. Of course, we don't have a crew cab here. We've just got seating for 3.
Yeah.
Let's look at.
Do you want to do a little bit of an exhaust?
Yeah, go for it.
So let me start it, and
Yeah.
you can be standing next to it.
I'll go stand next to the exhaust, and then you start it up, and let's listen to it. Okay.
Okay.
Go for it. I don't know, the lightning sounds louder. And I don't mean the Ford lightning, I mean that lightning
Oh.
thunder.
Maybe we need to get out of here.
Hey, before we do that, let's look at this sticker on it. So what's the final price here?
$56,345. And some of you may be already typing comments. Oh my gosh, this is over 56. Yes, it's over 56. But look, it has $5,000 of options,
Well,
right?
yeah, there's right there the convenience package, which gets you second row USB ports. Interesting, Andre. Second row USB ports.
Wait, where?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Are they
the
there?
airport.
Okay, all right. I felt like that was something left over from a much bigger truck.
No, but we also have USB up here.
Yeah, it's got a lot of USB and
Yeah.
USB-C. Also, here you have $525 for the remote start, $400 for the heat package on
Well,
there.
because we have a heated steering wheel and heated seats.
Now, the gooseneck is $1,100 or $10 underneath that.
Yep.
And of course, the Z71 with those, I'm doing air quotes here, red shocks is $375. So
Snowplow package 300, which means it has heavier springs.
yeah, and we brought this from Johnson's, and let's face it, what they do is they add all this stuff to a lot of their trucks, which are usually white, because obviously these are
That's
work
what
trucks.
most fleets buy this, right?
Or you know, you get a option that you may or may not need. But that's the way, you know, you make money in the business, so I understand that.
It only has rear camera, so we do not have a 360-degree view.
Okay.
But we have the latest in there's software system. We have really fancy gauges for being kind of a little bit more of a basic truck. And I've been driving about 39 miles, mostly highway, and between 16 and 17 and a half mpg
That's really good.
in this big truck.
Yeah.
But it's also not broken in.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, this is really, sorry, we keep getting stuck to this.
The sticker, yeah. I keep getting stuck to the sticker because it's got sticky stuff on it now. Ford puts their auxiliary ports up here. I kind of like them up there better, but you know, at least you come with them, so you
Yeah,
can do things
5
like a winch ride.
5 aux
Lights.
switches.
Yeah, real switches for things like hill descent control, obviously for the off-road package. The little tailgate button right there, and down here you got real HVAC controls, which is nice.
Brake controller.
Brake controller.
Of course, that's nice.
Does this have? Is there a glove box here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You got a
that's
little button.
Yeah, you got
Bam.
dual glove boxes. Look at that. That's nice.
Okay, but how does it drive, dude? This is what we've been dying to know.
Yeah. So my biggest criticism of this design language is the fact that you can't really see over the hood. I'm kind of giving people a POV view of what I'm seeing right now.
Yes.
And this is fine, but when you're off-roading, you don't know what's like if there's a cliff in front of you, or how far the cliff in front of you is.
But I think, you know what, these cloth seats are actually not too bad.
No, I like cloth seats.
Yeah, and they're relatively comfy.
And I got to tell you, Andre, I'm not a big fan of sunroofs in pickup truck. Actually, I'm not a big fan of sunroofs in a lot of cars. I think the best thing about them is they let in light, but every time you open them, they make a heck of a lot of noise. But in a truck, it always seems like a waste of money and just a convenience package you don't need.
Yeah, so when this engine came out, this gas V8, it came out in 2020 model year. I talked to the engineering team from GM, and this was, you know, kind of a fresh design. They, you know, tuned it for truck duty, obviously. It's not supercharged or anything fancy, but I think the older 6-speed automatic was kind of holding that engine back. And now we're going to accelerate on this side highway. I'm hoping this 10-speed wakes it up.
Well, let's find out. I mean, there's only one way to know, and that is to give it a little bit of the old beans.
Okay,
Well,
this
look at
Lexus is driving into me.
Wow, yeah, I guess that the truck did not put her off at all.
We need the bigger fist.
You need a bigger fist, because I don't know how you missed this truck. It's such a big truck.
Wait. I'm gonna remove traction control so we have a little bit more freedom.
Okay, you hit hill descent control, by the way.
By mistake,
Yeah.
and I just shut it off.
Here, you want to hold that there? We can accelerate to 16. You guys out there in video land can actually time it, because we don't have the solo DL with us. There we go. Oh, that's a good. There's 20. 40. 60, nice.
There.
Yeah, that was good actually. That felt very much alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think because you have more ratios, obviously 10 speeds, you'll be able to have better towing experience as well, and maybe even better efficiency, of course, as well. So I think I'm really glad that, you know, they should have done it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure why they had this transmission available 3 years ago. I'm not sure why, but now it's here.
You know, here's the thing, Andre. I kind of feel like there's been a change, and actually a sea change in the difference between a heavy-duty truck with a diesel and the gasser version of that. And you know, once upon a time, I think if you got a diesel, you immediately thought of a heavy-duty truck, right? It was the DNA of the truck.
Yeah.
that made it so capable, that made it tote more. But over the last maybe 5 years, these gas or HD trucks have actually come a long way, right? With Ford with their Godzilla, and GM with their 6.6. They're as, if not more capable than diesel trucks used to be 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, and also you're saving money, right? If we clicked an option, if we were buying this truck, if we clicked the diesel option, it would be 10 grand more immediately.
Yeah, and not just 10 grand more immediately, but 10 grand more plus, the amount of service that you have to do with it, which is considerably more. And it depends where you live, but diesel tends to just be more expensive to purchase as well. And so I do miss that kind of diesel clatter, right? The whole kind of truck shaking. There's just something that feels really great about being in a diesel truck. But I got to tell you, there's nothing wrong with a V8 heavy-duty truck, because capability-wise and then long-term service-wise, it's going to be a much more affordable truck.
Yeah, let's talk about competition briefly.
Okay.
Right, because we must before we close down this video. I recently reviewed the F350 two-door work truck, Super Duty, brand new one, and that one had a little bit more payload than a comparable GM truck. Why? Because Ford still uses aluminum, right? So Ford builds their trucks, as far as their cab structures and their beds, out of aluminum. They save, I would say, 300 to 400 pounds. So they give that payload back to the driver. This truck has really good payload. Ford offers many, like 4 engine choices. General Motors offers 2, and then there's Ram, right?
Yeah, and then there's Ram.
Well, there's Ram with a Hemi, right? The Hemi Ram.
Yeah, which is in some ways I think underpowered. Now that you've got these big, high output
and high torque numbers, right?
Yeah, of course Ram has the Cummins, but we're talking about gas for trucks here.
Yeah, and of course Ram has the 2 diesel options as well, like you said. So, but I think as far as price, Chevy is very competitive. Of course, there's a GMC version of this truck as well. But I think if you wanted value, you would pick this truck, maybe remove a couple of options we talked about, maybe make it a little bit closer to 50,000, right? Yeah. And now the rain is coming.
Yeah, well, lucky we got this review before it started raining this hard.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing, Andre. So this has 4,000 and $250 worth of options on it.
Yeah.
And some of them, like the heated steering wheel and the heated seats, you can argue you don't need, but the gooseneck you probably want, especially if you're going to pull something with this, right?
Yeah.
And the convenience package you probably also want. But you can subtract all that. But if I were buying this, I definitely get the crew cab version, and that's going to add another $3,000.
Oh yeah, or they also have what they called like the double cab,
right? The
shorter 4-door version. I would look at that as well.
Yeah. So the one lesson we've learned by owning Stubby, Stubby is our cheapest 1500 truck in the U.S. We bought that for $38,000 last year.
Yeah.
And it's also a 2-door truck.
Yeah.
Is that even though you can't, I know it just keeps sticking to us, you can't put a third person in here. First of all, would you really want to on a cross country trip?
There's a big hump. There's a transmission hump.
And then the other problem that we're going to be illustrating here, you can illustrate it by showing where your gear bag is.
It's in the bed, getting wet.
Yeah, exactly. Show it. So that's the other problem with the 2-door.
Oh no, I forgot about it.
No. So like when we go to California to pick up motorcycles to review, the guys never want to take Stubby because they have no place to put their stuff. You can put stuff behind,
but there's very limited space.
It's very limited space, and if you want to bring a pet, which some people do, that's also problematic. So I would definitely go for the 4-door. And yes, this is a work truck, so it's not going to be used for cross-country travel. But at some point, all vehicles are used for cross-country travel, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Actually, why don't you pull in? There's a little
park.
Yeah, a little park here. Why don't you pull in and we'll grab your gear bags. All the camera gear doesn't get
soaked.
We did not plan well.
But Roman, I gotta say, I love this transmission. It's great in the diesel, and after driving it, 40-something miles, my first impression is that it pairs greatly with this gas engine.
You think it's better than the diesel version?
As far as driving?
Yeah.
No.
No, you like the diesel better.
I think the snowplow package.
Yeah. Well, the
I
snowplow
think
package makes it rough.
this rougher.
Well, why don't you tell them what the snowplow package gives you?
It gives you stiffer springs in the front,
exactly.
because you want that front stability for snowplow.
Yes.
So that's not great. All right, guys, we're going to close down this video. Check us out at oldtfl.com.
And as always, I was going to say you saw it first on the Fast Lane truck, but hey,
But you didn't.
But you didn't. We should talk about that actually. Let's just talk about that quickly. There was another YouTube channel that recently posted a video, and I don't want to name them because I don't like hate. I don't want to create, two tribes go to war situation. But they posted a video basically saying that we took down their videos. And the problem with that, of course, is, Andre, we can't take down anybody's videos.
No, we're not.
We don't have
YouTube.
the ability.
We don't have yeah.
In fact, even YouTube doesn't usually take down videos. It's the people themselves. And what happened was this other YouTube channel ran the Ike Gauntlet. And let me say, I love people running the Ike Gauntlet. The more the merrier. The more testing out there, the better. But we spent. Well, let me tell you a story really quickly, right? So the way that the Ike Gauntlet came around was Mike Levine, you knew him at
Yes.
Ford. He's now PR. I think he was either the managing editor or one of the head honchos.
Well, he started pickuptrucks.com.
Yeah. And he did a very similar test to the Ike Gauntlet called the Hurt Locker. Now we're going back like 10, 12 years, right?
Or more.
Yeah, where he ran trucks up and down the same stretch of highway.
I think we're going back 20 years.
Yeah. And so when I saw that, I thought to myself, this would be really good to do on video because it's very visual, right? So the first thing I did was I called Mike and I said, hey, Mike, I want to do this on video. We're not going to call it the Hurt Locker. That's yours because, of course, you came up with that idea. That's your intellectual.
That's your name.
That's your name, yeah. But are you okay with the fact that we do that? And Mike said, absolutely. Go for it. And so we did. And Nathan helped out with that. Came up with the Ike Gauntlet name.
Yeah.
And because. How many of those runs did you do? You
163.
Yeah, 163 of those.
Over 10 years.
And you guys have to understand how much work that is because it's not just going and driving up and down a mountain. It's also hooking up the trailer, returning the trailer,
Loading trailers,
weighing trailers. There's so much work, and we made it a thing. And because we made it a thing, just like anybody else, we thought, well, we should copyright that. This is something
and trademark that.
And trademark that because this is something that belongs to TFL. It's something that, that doesn't mean we don't want other people doing it. It just means that those two words together.
With that mountain.
With that mountain on video are something that's a thing for TFL. It's one of our cornerstones. So we get an email from one of our viewers saying, hey, somebody else is running the Ike and using the Ike Gauntlet name. And I thought to myself, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot this guy an email and say, hey, just be aware that this is copywritten, and we'd appreciate if you guys gave us credit next time you do this. Maybe say something like, hey, I'm going to run up TFL's Ike, because that's really what it is at this point. But I went to the YouTube channel, could not find any. I think I spent maybe an hour trying to find contact information for this YouTube channel. And if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll find that for contact, they have the YouTube channel name. No Instagram. No
phone number.
No phone number, no email.
Yeah.
On ours, you'll get links to our Facebook, our Instagram, I don't know what else, our TikTok, I think, and they're all different ways you can contact us. So we had no choice. I had no choice, but at that point to say to YouTube, hey, somebody is using our copywritten material without permission. Because I would have loved to have contacted this person, but I had no choice. YouTube, I suspect, wrote him a letter saying, hey, you're potentially...
there could be a strike against you.
Yeah, you're infringing on someone else's. And that person took down the videos. We didn't take down the videos. YouTube didn't take down the videos. We cannot make anybody take... And then that person, created a short, which I watched. I didn't even want to watch the long video. I don't want to see that much hate in my life. Basically saying that we're some huge YouTube corporation that's taking down his videos. Once again, we can't do that. So at the bottom line is, we can't get a hold of this person. So the only recourse we had was to go to YouTube and say, hey, this is a copyright infringement. And if you're going to do that, go for it. We'd love it. The more testing, the better. Just give us credit for it. That's all we ask. I think that's not a lot to ask for something that's blood, sweat, and tears of this channel.
Or we could have collaborated together.
Or email us and we could have done a collab. God, how many of those have we done, right? With other YouTubers. We love doing collabs, but don't go out and then make a video saying that we're somehow taking food off your table, or that you can have. This is me and Andre, dude. This is not some mega corporation. We're also just two guys that love trucks. But at the same time, we've put a lot of hard sweat, equity, and work into creating the YouTube channel and creating that gauntlet, and we need to protect that. At least the fact that we created it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, just wanted to get that out there so you guys knew exactly what happened. So you could hear our side of the story before you come onto our channel and start accusing us of being cowards or bullies or some other stuff like that. And like I say, I don't want to get into a two tribes go to war situation, because when that happens, both sides lose.
All right. Well, once again, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be doing more with a similar truck
Yep.
soon.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
See you guys next time. Ciao.